Shout out to all my dogs at the crib, 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. That is what you are tuned into, and you are tuned in just in time for the Diary Room. What could be your favorite Big Brother commentary show? If you're like, wow, I'm used to hearing this voice on Sundays, well, we'll explain all that oh so soon. If you don't know Big Brother, you're about to know a whole lot about it. I am one of your hosts. I am Emol McCormack, returning to the studio with my lovely co-host.
Hello there.
Of course, we're British now.
I like to be British sometimes.
Sometimes.
Occasionally. My name is Chris. Just Chris. I'm back here. We're stuck in the diary room, but actually for real this time.
It's actually
Can't you believe it?
I can't believe it. I think you're more Australian. I can't do an Australian accent.
Maybe we can make a new one that's like a mix of both.
A British Australian
accent
to cover American Big Brother.
Yeah.
I think that's the move.
Is that not fire? Like, does that not sound like the greatest idea you've ever heard?
That is quite simply the best idea I've ever heard.
For the people who enjoy who are enjoyers of the British and Australian accent, just like myself. Sounds sold already.
We don't have any accents this season. You know, last season we had T-Core. A couple seasons ago we had Bowie Jane. We don't have accents. We got to fill in the gap. Exactly. Well, like you've heard, this is the Diary Room, WMSC, where we talk about Big Brother. That is the reality TV series on CBS, and we live, laugh, love Big Brother for some reason. We can't get enough of it.
There's a few reasons.
Well, it is exciting. It is excellent. It is taking up all my time, and I wouldn't want to do anything else in the summer. It's our little way of holding on to the summer, even as we approach September. And some people in this room have classes, and some others don't. Some others don't because you've been there, done that. But now I have so much time for Big Brother. I've got my Janky World t-shirt on today to talk all things BB. Like I said, we're live in the studio. We just changed our time slot. So you used to listen to us on Sundays, but now we are here live in the Diary Room, parentheses, the studio, on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. for the foreseeable future. Definitely up until the finale of BB 27. We're back. We're so back in the studio. It's fun to actually see my co-host in person.
Yes. I haven't seen, well, actually, the last time I saw you in person was like, what, your grad party or something?
Right, a couple months ago.
Something like that.
Now we're so back. And, you know, we were kind of banished. Like, I was in the diary room in the basement, and you were in the diary room in the attic. And now we're in a diary room that's between the first floor and the second floor of the Big Brother house.
On a secret hidden third plane of existence.
Exactly. That's what we do here at our show. But because we are now talking on Wednesday, though we talked on Sunday, we shall talk next Wednesday. If you're familiar with the layout of the show, there's a lot of episodes. There's a lot going on at all times. This is a 24/7 show, after all, even though some of the house guests just found out about that. We'll unpack that a little bit. But that means that since our last episode, we only had a new episode on Sunday. So don't worry. We're going to go so in depth on what happened on Sunday night's episode. And then next week, we will recap what is to come tonight and tomorrow with the eviction. So for now, we're going to spend so much time on what happened on Sunday, what we think is going to happen upcoming this week. And then we're going to talk a little bit about our draft because we don't really get the chance to. And we'll let you know our thoughts perhaps since our initial picks when the season began. I'm gonna sneeze at any second, by the way. So place you could place your bets in your mind on when the sneeze is gonna happen.
It's gonna scare you.
I'm gonna be so shook, and production's gonna yell, "Please stop crying." House guest Emol for sneezing on air. Not again. And so, where is it? It's not there. But what is here is this Sunday night episode that happened just a couple days ago. Should we just dive right into it?
Yeah.
I think we'll do it. We'll talk all about Sunday. Now, we have established on past episodes that I am a live feeder. Oh.
Sneeze.
Thank you, Chris. I have in fact sneezed.
I can confirm.
I'm allergic to all these house guests and their terrible decision making. So much so that there could be another sneeze. Don't hey me yet.
Hey.
Don't hey me yet.
Don't talk about Pookie like that.
Last time we had our episode, I knew full well who HOH was.
And I knew exactly.
On the block.
And I clocked you.
Yeah.
Because without actually, but in my head, trust me, I was thinking about this right after we wrapped last when that recorded. Last episode was on Sunday.
Yes.
So, because we were talking about like when you were like, "Oh, I know who the HOH is," I knew that you did, because the last time that happened, we were talking about it and you said something, and I know that you intentionally didn't say anything because you knew it was KEANU the whole time.
Well, I knew that you would be very excited, and I can't blame you because your draft has been really unfortunate the last couple of weeks when you lost Zach and Riley and Catherine. So
I just got
you needed a win. You needed a win. And I'm excited that you have one. Just don't do it for too long. And then we'll be fine.
I can't promise that.
But yes, we have a KEANU win. How do we get there, though? How do we get there? Well, the Sunday episode, we start with some of the aftermath of Catherine leaving. And the only person who's really upset about this is Lauren, who continues to put herself on an island. And I do feel bad. She's so sweet. She's so pretty. She looks so pretty, and she's so crying.
Good player.
Are you sure about that?
She has the skeleton of a good player.
Yeah, like
she can
put away in storage.
Well, but I mean, like, I don't know. I guess I just don't understand how you don't make friends. Like, are you boring, or like how does that work? Because it's like you come into this house and you don't know any of these people and you have to live with them for the whole summer.
Yeah.
And somehow you're not in good with like anyone. I guess maybe Vince.
Well,
but who is Vince really aligned with ever?
That's the big issue, that she is loosely aligned / friends with certain people, but just she's looking at Vince as her number one, and Vince is looking at himself as his number one, which is fine. That's what you're supposed to do in the show. That's how you win. You don't play for second place. But unfortunately for her, she kind of has an ally in Catherine, and then she goes home. She was kind of with the showmance when Riley was still there, and then he goes home the week before. She's just kind of made herself on this island, and she doesn't talk to people. And I, like you said, I don't know how that's possible. You live in this house with people. Sure, if you want to avoid somebody, I'm sure you could figure that out. But she's avoiding all somebodies. You have to play this game, and it's so infuriating because of all people, she knows this game. When people are asking about like Rachel's gameplay, she's the only one who knows it accurately. KEANU has an understanding just to the extent of nobody knows your gameplay. Deal with that, Rachel, which is also interesting, but good for him. And she knows things. She's not dumb. She just needs to do the thing. And I feel like this time last year, we were also complaining about Chemo and Tikor, who were constantly like saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this tomorrow."
Not doing any.
And then tomorrow never came. And they just don't end up doing it. So I do feel bad for Lauren because I think she needs a little bit of a push. I also sympathize because I'm not a very confrontational person either. I'd like to think that if I was in Big Brother, I'd like to always think back to Lauren's gameplay and think, don't be like that. Be a little bit stronger. But yeah, my mom has all the answers too. So I can't blame her. Shout out to my mom at the crib. And, and so poor Lauren, losing another ally, but was she really an ally? She wasn't not.
Yeah.
But Lauren was the sole vote to evict Ava. And of course, that wasn't actually to get rid of Ava as much as it was just to keep Catherine. And clearly the numbers were not on her side. So that's where we open up that Sunday episode. Ava's happy and she's chilling. I kind of didn't think that Ava was going to go last week under any circumstance. So we just kind of got to the outcome that we figured. I got my mom at the crib. This just in. She says, yes, she is boring in all caps. But we move on from Lauren. And one of the first notes that I think is important just because this takes place before the head of household competition is that KEANU decides he wants to make up with Rachel.
Number how many times?
Oh my gosh.
It's what, the third time?
Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And you know what? It won't be the last time.
I'm honestly living for it. I kind of like this, the back and forth, because like being on Rachel's good side, like in terms of my opinion on who she's working with and her gameplay, does it feels good.
Yeah.
You know, like when I'm #1 KEANU fan and I'm being able to take a page out of his book and like tolerate Rachel for a week because they're being nice to each other. It's a cool duo. Why would you ever want to take her to Final Two? I couldn't tell you. I don't think there's one reason.
No.
There's two. There's maybe if you can be like, oh well, I took Rachel here and I had the courage to stand up to her in Final Two, but then you're just like praying with fellow house guests are like, yo, you know how cool it would be if somebody won Big Brother twice?
The consensus of the household is so confusing because half the house is saying you would be really dumb, or like it would be really dumb to vote for Rachel at the end, because of course the jury members, which we're approaching the jury phase, they end up voting for who the winner is, unlike some other shows in other countries where America votes for the winner. But people, half the house is like, oh, I would never vote for her. Therefore, you should want to bring her to the end. But also, you're really dumb to bring her to the end because she's going to win. Duh. Well, then who's voting for her? And it's like people kind of go back and forth on what they're going to do in the end if they make it that far. And so it's very confusing because then you also have KEANU, who straight up said to Rachel at some point earlier in the season, it would be an honor to sit next to the first two-time winner. Good, that if that's your goal, then go ahead and do it. Be my guest. And Rachel would say the same thing. But obviously they're up and down because just last week when Vince was in power, he was right a whole week ago. KEANU was pushing for Rachel to go on the block. That's not very Final Two. That's not very They accurately name themselves the frenemies, by the way. It could not be more accurate because it's just like they're at each other's throats, and then actually we're so super chill. Because he, like every other day, KEANU's like, but what if I put up Rachel? No. But what if I put up Rachel? Either way, you're best friends. I hate you. And you know what? I've had friends like that too. It's kind of fun. It keeps life entertaining, and it definitely keeps the show entertaining. I do like that they talked about this before the head of household competition because it kind of saved both their butler behinds in the off chance that one of them becomes head of household. And so Rachel recognizes just that because she's a smarty pants. And she knows that KEANU could potentially win head of household. And, you know, even if she doesn't actually trust him, what is the harm in just saying, yeah, KEANU, I trust you. Everything's great. We're so friends now. I totally don't know that you wanted me on the block last week. And it was kind of close between Catherine and Rachel and who is it? Ashley? Ashley's name is always
Ashley is like the person that is the most named person who never goes on the block.
Yeah.
By far.
And I think it's
every week. because she's the last one. And she's going to be out the moment that all of the targets are gone. But we just have to get there first. I'm sure she's, well, I mean, at this point, next week is jury rank. Or is it?
I think that someone goes home tomorrow night.
Yes.
At least one person. And the first person is the last not in jury.
Wait a minute.
I'm convinced. What am I convinced of? Do you want to unpack it now?
Well, we can talk about, so let's, okay, we can finish Sunday and we can talk about that afterwards, because
Okay.
I feel like that's gonna be a very loaded conversation.
I'm shaking the chair.
So
I'm losing my marbles.
Rest of the week.
Gnawing at the bars of my enclosure, the enclosure being the diary room. At least one person goes home on Thursday, and that person, I believe, is the last pre-juror, which is still nuts because we're like only a couple weeks away from the finale. This is like the longest pre-jury ever. I don't actually know that statistically, but it feels like it.
It always feels like it, to be honest.
But and then we're in the home stretch, and it's just like, okay, we're done now.
Yeah. Jury starts. We start getting those clips coming into the house, and then the first. It'll be here before you even know it.
Don't even. That means the summer's really over, and I really got to figure life out. But we're gonna ignore that for now.
Still watching Big Brother.
We're still watching. But on the topic of Ashley, it's interesting because I mean we can't forget that she was the initial target of the season because she took a really long shower for like a couple of minutes that we found out later. Because Julie's like, yeah, it was like 30 minutes, and the house is convinced it was 2 hours, even though Vince was in the room. But Ashley was a target way back week 1 in July when she took a shower a little bit too long, and then she won the power veto, saved herself, and then everyone's just like, oh, okay. And they moved on to bigger and better things. Well, clearly she's still doing fine this week. Well, last week, this week.
The only time she ever gets targeted is because she commits some sort of minor annoyance that's slightly larger than a minor annoyance that would actually get her put up on the block. That's
really true. She just kind of says things sometimes.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's more than Lauren's doing, so that's fine. But I think it's all strategy. She's a very interesting player, where she's just kind of yapping.
I can't get a read on her.
I think that's by design.
Yeah.
We're going to see a little bit more about her, but we're still at the beginning of Sunday, and where KEANU is upset with Vince. And this is a really fun segment that
this was before the conversation. Oh, I love this part.
So you know how we said that KEANU and Rachel go back and forth, that it's just like we replay the same scene over and over again. Now we have a new scene that comes into play.
And it's not just between the same two people. It's literally every single interaction that Vince ever gets himself in, actually. FYI, if you haven't noticed.
Vince's only play is make a move, cry about it. And that's all he knows to do. That's all he's got. Where he does not stand by his decisions, and he thinks that the best way out of situations is to sob about it and make him seem really weak. And
I hate the sulking.
It's a lot.
Such a terrible player.
It's so much.
I'm so bad at Big Brother. I did this to myself. Why'd I do this? Vince, lock in, bro.
And again, I know I'm RHAP pilled, but Taryn Armstrong's impression of this conversation is so funny that I think about it like it's in my head rent-free because it is so ridiculous and it drags on for ages.
Yes.
And KEANU is doing this really intense like pep talk, and oh my god, it was like I'm forgetting the quote, but it was about like to build confidence you need competence or something. Like he's doing this big motivational speech, and then Vince is like, I'm such a weasel. I don't know. And he twirls his mustache in the middle of it. No, he doesn't. But I'd like to imagine he does. And he's like rocking back and forth, hiding in his hoodie. He needs the egg costume back.
God.
And this happens repeatedly, now more so with specifically Vince with KEANU. But like you said, it happens every single
time he's
week.
talking game with anyone.
That's what he does. And that's why when I was watching the live feeds last Thursday night, so after the eviction, sometime soon after they go into the HOH comp, and then sometime around midnight on the East Coast, the feeds will come back. And I watch closely to try to figure out who has a key around their neck, and it immediately opens to Vince sitting between Kelly and Lauren playing chess. And I just saw Vince sulking to them, and I'm like, oh my God, Kelly won. Like, Kelly's HOH, or it's Lauren. The only reason he wasn't immediately sulking to KEANU is because KEANU was in the diary. And I like, that's the only thing that kept him from sulking to him. But don't worry, because clearly it happened earlier. And so we have this scene that we've seen over and over and over again, where Vince can't stand by a single decision because every time he makes a decision, it happens to be on the wrong side of the next person in power. And even though KEANU voted with the House, he wasn't happy about it because he also wanted Rachel gone. But also, I'm best friends with Rachel.
We're best friends with Rachel right now, and that's what matters the most. You know, they don't have to. That's the point of the game. You're supposed to get her out at some point. It's just a matter of who's going to be willing to take the shot. I can't imagine a world in which we get a Rachel. Rachel in jury is already crazy enough.
Rachel in jury never sitting on the block? How'd she do it?
I don't know. I really don't want to see her win and want to see her win at the same time. But if I will only be happy if she wins sitting next to KEANU.
I mean, truthfully, depending on how they feel that week, I could totally see that happening. And selfishly, no, because neither of them are on my draft team.
Yeah.
But at the
then we
same
both
time,
lose.
if Rachel wins, we both lose. Exactly. And our computer friend Oswald from last season will win. But truthfully, I feel the same because I really want Rachel to succeed because I like her. But at the same time, like, if they bring her to the end, they deserve to lose.
Yes.
And she deserves to win. I think she's been doing a fantastic job, especially even something so small as like other players, if faced with KEANU in this situation, would say, no, I'm not your friend. And then KEANU goes to win head of household. They would even make a simple mistake like that because that's the house we are dealing with. We're dealing with Mickey, who gets out Jimmy, and so on and so forth. This has happened pretty much every week.
I don't want to talk about the whole getting allies out thing because at this point,
that's the theme of the season.
I think at this point we're past that because who is really allies anymore? The people who say they're aligned with Vince, are they really aligned with Vince? Maybe like Morgan. I can't. But like, in what world is Morgan?
Well, definitely Morgan.
It's me and you against the house, Vince. You're not a weasel. You're actually really good at this game.
We're gonna hug for 45 minutes at a time.
Was that before the HOH? I don't even remember it, but I'm sure you remember that.
It was after HOH, before Noms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because now I know exactly when this was. Because it was right after his conversation. We'll get to that a little bit later.
Bro
too.
needs to get it together.
This is not the first time that Vince is going to be crying this episode,
or this week,
or this week,
or this sure ever.
It's going to happen again tonight, and it's probably going to happen again tomorrow night.
We shall see. But we spoiled who head of household is hardcore, but we did not talk about
it's been 3 days, and we still have to talk about the competition. We could
breeze through it, but it was one of those true false questions where the night before the house guests had to look at the memory wall, which is usually where their faces are displayed and desaturated when they are eventually kicked out of the house. But instead it replayed a handful of, I guess, memes they would call it. And so Ava's just walking by and she's like, oh my God, it changed. suddenly there's memes. And so the entire house gathers around the memory wall, staring at the screens. And of course, they go right into work mode because they know that they have to memorize things, whether it's the name of the meme, who's in it, who's doing what, if someone falls twice or three times or whatever it is, they have to memorize what's going on. Rachel Riley, completely locked in.
That did not age well.
Did not age well because we go into the comp the next day, and I think
she was first exit.
She was second. Wasn't she second? Will was first.
Oh, yes, it was Will and then her. You're
it was
right.
immediately Will, and Will just can't win a thing, but he's doing great socially, and that's what matters.
He's
clearly.
Just there to have fun, and I'm so for it.
He's just chilling, and not
Captain Will.
Love Captain Will. We'd love if you won a game, and it's not this one, and that's okay. He gets out very first round. And the second round, there were a couple people who got out, but most notably Rachel, the veteran of the game, who knows how to study for something like this. She's gone. She's out of the comp, and she's not winning. And I think even more comedic than Rachel being out the second round is at the very end, it being between KEANU and Kelly, the two people that nobody would like to win.
Well, because everyone got out the round before except for the two of them.
Like, great. Seriously?
I was so ready to have both of them exit because I was like, sometimes, I don't know about you. Sometimes I like to just like play along in my head to the competitions,
Yeah.
Naturally, as one would. But I didn't remember the answer to that question, and it was literally just the two of them, and everyone else had the exact same answer. So if they were wrong,
you were so out.
I was so out. I would have been.
And
if someone like Ashley or something won like HOH this week, I would have no draft. My draft would be completely gone.
It is it's not looking super great for mine, but again, you lost 3 people for 3 weeks in a row. Like, Chris deserves this win, and I mean, not for nothing, it was super entertaining to see that it was between the two of them, because even still, if majority of the house doesn't want Kelly or KEANU to win, they're going to keep each other safe, but they have different targets and different goals. So it was still like,
have targets and goals.
This is so true. Whereas the majority of the house is like, la la la, I don't even know what Big Brother is. Alas. And so I was playing along too, and I think I got like the first 2 rounds, and then my brain was completely gone, and I already knew who won at this point anyway. But I also think I memorized some of it because we just watched this season, so we knew certain things anyway. But we do land on a KEANU win. Yay! And between the two, I must admit, I was rooting even more so for KEANU, because honestly, I want to like KEANU. He's driving me crazy, but I want to like him.
I think that this week has really shown what he is truly capable of, because before he was fighting on the back foot, trying to get people to respect him. Now he's the one with the power, and he's able to make deals and speak to people. And I mean, we'll get into it soon, but like, I don't know about you, I think he did a great job getting all of his chickens in the line, whatever the saying is. He
lined up those chickens.
I don't think, he made Vince cry twice. But that's not very hard to do.
No, he'll do that himself.
Yeah, Vince crying twice because of KEANU's decisions is not a fault of KEANU. It's just a character flaw of Vince.
Yeah.
I think that he did the best job he could have with his nominations.
I have to say I can't complain, because again, he's on the ups with Rachel. He is clearly going after my draft, but he has to. And like you said, like, at least he has targets. He has goals. Other people would have wanted to be like, la la la, I don't know what to do. And then they put up like both KEANU and Kelly, and one of them would win veto and the other would win blockbuster, because that's just how it's been going.
Man, I wonder who's left.
And they're
third option.
the numbers are really dwindling. Again, we're approaching jury, and I feel like by the time, because we've had nine-person juries so much the last couple of seasons, that in my brain I'm also just super confused on, like, I feel like there's nobody left. I can't believe we're just approaching jury. I'm so confused by it. But I am glad that it's a 7-person jury instead of 9, because I feel like we just kind of, we're getting used to that. I would like less people, but it is definitely entertaining to see KEANU win head of household. I love that my next note says KEANU is upset with Vince. Makes Wince cry again. Boo-hoo. Let me play you a song on the world's smallest violin. That was for Wince. As I misspelled his name. And he's crying again because now KEANU's upset with him, and it really matters. Because it's going to directly impact Vince, who wants to cry himself out of a nomination this week.
What are your plans, KEANU? I'm gonna put you up. I'm gonna put you up, Vince. But do you have? But I'm done in doing this with the intention of making you go home, Vince. I just wanted to put you up because you burned me like 6 times, bro. You're not a weasel, man. Just go out there and win. I'll try. I'm too much of a weasel.
Chris is growing a mustache in the studio as we speak. And suddenly a beanie appears. And yeah, no, that is quite literally Vince in a nutshell. Again, he's obviously going to be upset that he's on the block, but he did it himself.
He did it to himself.
But my favorite though was KEANU saying, like, yeah, I'm going to put you on the block because at least if you're gone, my allies don't go home. Because Vince has repeatedly gone after people who are, at least in KEANU's eyes, on his side, because to this day, I don't know if he realizes that Riley really didn't like KEANU, but Vince knew. But anyway, in KEANU's eyes, Vince was helping get rid of Riley, who was a number for his side, and then Catherine, and so on and so forth. So KEANU's like, my allies keep going home because of you. I need to put 3 people up. You're going up there. What other option do I have? And I did forget, truthfully, that he wasn't an initial target. That Morgan was more so.
Morgan is still the target.
The target. And KEANU is going along, and he's trying to play an honest game, which I feel like he has so far, to a fault.
He's just been terrible at speaking.
Yeah, but with finally coming into power, he is telling people that he doesn't know exactly who he's putting up. He kind of knows at this point that, well, if Morgan is the target, Morgan's going up. And Vince is an obvious other option, even if the crying is not phasing KEANU, which I respect. Good for KEANU. Yeah. And who's going to be the third nom? So he kind of saves space for Ava or Mickey to potentially be the third person. And he kind of weighs his options. But again, he's playing pretty truthfully, and he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And of course it makes sense for Ava and Mickey then to be like, well, I don't really want that, but like, you do you, I guess. Because Mickey thinks she has the votes to stay. And Ava really has the votes to stay.
Yeah.
And that's kind of Ava and Mickey's game in a nutshell as well.
That's also kind of really funny because, I mean, based off of who actually ends up getting put on the block at the end of the day, Ava, like you said, is in a much safer position. And I feel like she, after these conversations, is more comfortable being put on the block as well. Or at least she sees it from his point of view, because she's like, yeah, I put him on the block. He's putting me on the block. Okay, whoop-de-doo, it's fair. And I mean, she would have been, she is going to be safe as well, unless
Yeah.
unless we're forced to make another fourth nom for the week. What is this, like, how many weeks in a row has it been? Where the third target
Yeah.
has to go home because someone had to go up because of a veto and a blockbuster.
Well, at least the veto's been used. That is a perk. A couple seasons ago, it was like,
Oh,
keep it up there. It's like, no.
isn't that? Wait, never mind. They were using the veto all the time last season.
Last season, the veto just needed a break, and it got it like once.
It still hasn't
like
gotten one.
Not really taking a break this season at all, but good for them. I won't talk too much because I know everything. I know everything. But we are nearing the end of our Sunday recap for Big Brother season 27, and alas, we do get to the noms, but not without another 45-minute hug in the middle of the living room where Morgan is comforting Vince. We kind of mentioned this earlier.
Talking about before.
And I won't go into detail too much about what the heck is happening with Morgan and Vince because it's a lot, considering he's got a girlfriend.
Girl.
Not anymore. Kelsey is over it. She is over it. She is done. He will not have a girlfriend at the end of this.
Is this true?
So she, truthfully, so Vince has had a girlfriend of 7 years. Their anniversary happened while he was on the show. He gave her a shout out, but the shout outs have been none because he is getting so close with Morgan. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
And he mentioned to the cameras for the live feeders to see that his girlfriend Kelsey has said explicitly that it was okay that he used like flirting to his advantage. And then she went on social media and she's like, I never said that. Jaw dropped. I gotta go find it. It's somewhere on the floor. So she's not cool with that. He is getting closer and closer with Morgan spiritually and physically really close with Morgan. It's like disgusting. And she mentions Kelsey because I think she's like really wants to be respectful. But it's also his fault. It's his fault.
Yeah, no, because you're the one in the relationship.
So so Morgan and Vince, one of their many 45-minute hugs happens in the middle of the living room. She's trying to comfort him, also like knowing full well like she's gonna end up on this block, though she doesn't fully understand why she's the intended target, but she knows she's going on the block, and Vince clearly knows as well. And now I just realized I did have quote million-year hug between Vince and Morgan in my notes because at the end of the Sunday night episode, we do get the noms being Morgan, Vince, and Mickey.
What?
Mickey no longer being like the target. It's clearly Morgan in this situation. But good for KEANU putting up 3 people where he's like, if any of them go home.
That's what that's what we needed.
Exactly.
At least he can't miss. There's no way. If either one of these 3 people go home, we are set.
Yeah.
A successful move.
And that's something that most of the other HOHs, save for Rachel, save for, I guess, Ava, they haven't been thinking that way. They're like, this is the person, and I'm going to put up these pawns, and I don't want the pawns to go home. And then the pawns could go home. And so, yeah, good for KEANU actually
sending home a threat.
Sending home a threat, potentially, and making a good decision with his nominations. And so we finish our Sunday episode.
What?
And we're still the Diary Room. This is still 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. We're going to take a quick break, quick breather. I need some water. Maybe I need to sneeze again or something like that. And then we're going to do a little bit of a recap of our drafts, some other thoughts about the season. And as we also approach tonight's episode, the Wednesday night episode with the veto, we're gonna after this top of the hour, we're gonna play a song. We're gonna play a song because I am a music oriented person. I love music. And so I every week am very curious to see what the head of household's album of choice is. I'm going to let you ponder for a couple more seconds, and then we're going to play a song off of KEANU's album. Stay tuned. The word sensational comes to mind when I think about Big Brother and when I think about the Diary Room, which is what you're still tuned into on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. We are in the second hour of the Diary Room. I am still Emol, and this is still
Just Chris. Hello.
Just Chris.
With the hair.
And we are still in the Diary Room, aka the studio, and we are talking all things Big Brother 27. And this is the part where we would usually continue to recap the week, but because of a silly little time change, we already did it.
We already did it.
We had but one episode to recap, so this time next week we'll have even more. We'll be talking all about what happens tonight on the veto episode and tomorrow on the eviction episode, and see if more than one person goes home. Dun, 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 Sunday, of course. But while we're chilling here, we finally have time to talk a little bit more about our drafts. Because at the very beginning of the season, actually before the season even began, Chris and I did a draft. Basically, we just picked house guests to be on our teams according to some preseason interviews, some photos, some videos, really just first impressions.
Yeah.
And so Chris has a lot of explaining to do. No, just kidding.
No, you're right.
We're going to go through all the house guests, just kind of what do we remember about some of our early boots and what are our thoughts about some of our picks that are still there and so on. And so I suppose let's just start. Let's start at the very beginning of the draft. So we're going to go backwards, meaning that the last to be picked for the dodgeball teams are the ones that we are going to explore first. And for a long time, and still not entirely incorrect, we have more sneezes. I can't not address the fact that we both sneeze. We're just allergic to some of these players' gameplay, especially our very last picks. And so, of course, that means that we are going to begin with the pick that was very last in the order, and we therefore predicted that this person would be out first. Chris, you have Zay on your team.
Hey, you didn't do much better either.
And then I've been doing better.
But we're not talking about now. We're not talking about now. We're talking about then. Then my first pick was, or my last pick, because we're going up from the bottom. So our worst.
Ooh, wait.
Guess.
Up from the bottom, you say? I never addressed the song that we listened to. It's funny because Up From the Bottom is another song of theirs. KEANU's HOH album pick, it was Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park, so we listened to With You from that album. But Up From the Bottom is a newer song of theirs. Oh, that was meant to be. But we're talking about Zay. We're talking about Zay.
I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I got excited about Linkin Park.
I'm always excited to talk about Linkin Park. See, this is I knew that I liked KEANU, and I knew that he had good music taste, and I was hoping to see because I love seeing. I mean, we're both the same, and that we love seeing the HOH's music picks, and judging them based off of the music that they listen to.
Mm-hmm.
However, I was talking about Zay. Let's get back to that real quick. So, he was in the house for what?
7 days.
7 days.
Maybe 10 because of production reasons.
Something like that. And he was a guy. Maybe if he got a little farther, I would have liked him. I don't know. He was kind of funny, I guess.
Maybe if he didn't pick a fight with the Rachel Riley on week 1, then maybe we would have more details to say about Zay.
So right. And I mean, he's just kind of, I don't think I would have. I have no tell. He was there for a week and he got evicted. And that's all I have to say about him, to be honest. Do you have any lengthier thoughts about your final pick?
Well, yeah, so this was the next fun thing so my last pick was Amy, who ended up being the second person evicted from the house. I don't have too much to say about her either, just because she was out week 2, and ultimately she was the mastermind who, or the accomplice, the mastermind who we haven't seen in a long time. Where he at? Maybe he's still picking up the pieces of his lair that exploded on episode 1. Perhaps he's still like reeling from that. But Amy, her downfall ultimately was Rachel. And it's not Rachel's fault. She just became friends with Rachel, and Rachel was immune from the block for a full week. And then everyone's like, oh, I don't want to touch her. Next target is her bestie. And so Amy goes home. But I have nothing bad to say about her either. She seems like a nice person. We did find out that after a certain point, if she was in the game, she would lose her job outside of the house. Like, they only gave her X amount of time off before they would have to replace her or something of the sort. And so getting out week 2, if she were to lose the game, at least she won her job back. Really? So good for Amy, just chilling at home. I follow like pretty much all the house guests on our account at thediaryroom.wmsc on Instagram. And she's just posting pictures with her kiddos. Seems like she's having a good summer just watching. So good for Amy, but that's about all I've got for her. Can we move into the third to last pick?
We actually thought that we were gonna go like eviction for eviction at this point, because my second to last pick was Adrian, who was the third person to leave the Big Brother house this season.
I started to lose my mind at this. We're fortune tellers.
Yes, we were. I mean, it was very crazy that happened in the first place. And we were 3 house guests in, and it's still tracked. You'll see, it has still tracked very accurately, or it was at least until as of a couple weeks ago.
We're still not that far off. It's still the bottom of our list.
But I mean, spoiler for your next pick, not really spoiler because this is public information, but I mean, like, I don't think Lauren's leaving.
She's still kicking.
She's definitely going to.
Not of her own doing.
I mean, maybe if someone like Kelly wins next week, I guess maybe she has a shot at going home. Perhaps. I'm not really sure. That would require her to miss probably 2 bigger targets, because I'm sure that she's going to be coming after.
But we'll get to Lauren.
Or you're so right.
Yeah.
Adrian. We were talking about Adrian. I just love yapping about Big Brother. I liked him more. Obviously, he had more time in the house, so I enjoyed. He had a lot of funnies. The whole thing with the washing machine, that part, that was really funny.
That would have been me.
Very appreciative of that bit, because it is very real. I also would have done the exact same thing.
This is a side note, but I was going through, I have a list of potential band names in my phone, like just like the silly things that we say. Yes. I have in like a list, and one of them was called The Minor Inconveniences of Microwaves. And it is simply because every microwave is a little bit different, to the point where you look like a stupid idiot because you're like, I don't know how to work this microwave. It's the same thing with a washer and dryer. If you've never used a specific one before, you could just kind of stare at it and be like, what am I doing?
Why am I looking at? It's the same thing with that.
That was Adrian.
Toasters. I feel the same way about toasters, actually. Our toaster at the apartment is like super freaking complicated. I don't know why, but
I'm sorry. I think it's mine.
Are you serious?
Yes.
The one, it's like an air fryer, and it's got like a big, like, multiple racks.
Oh, mine had 2.
It's got like a dial that you can, like, there's like a screen with there's like maybe 30 different options, like 3 rows of like 10 things you can do in the toaster. It's like toast, air fry, broil, whatever. I don't know.
This just in, I have no idea where my toaster went, because that is not mine. That's even more complex.
Toaster.
And that is this toaster to Chris is the washer and dryer to Adrian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Adrian, we miss you. I
Oh,
miss you.
yes.
I miss you, twin.
I agree. I do. I miss him. I hope.
He never got to play the role.
I know it's so sad. I'd like to think that he would have done a great job. I would like to think that he was playing alongside the house guests at home. I know currently he's working on building other competitions and he's doing like polls and interactive stuff. So I'm glad that he at least has a little bit of a fan base out of this because it seems like he's really just soaking that in and trying to make the most of this. And I hope that he is potentially brought back in the future. I know that there's been a couple house guests in the past where I'm trying to remember their names, but I know there was one, I think it was like David. He was like a photographer, and that's all I remember. And this was like years ago. And I was like, I was bummed that he left so early. I'm pretty sure they brought him back at some point. I don't know. Don't fact check me. I don't remember. I'm doing it.
Who's David?
But that's the fun thing about our show is we don't remember everything, but we mean well. But I would love to see Adrian come back in the future. So I feel like he left a good impression, perhaps not a lasting because he's gone. but hopefully we'll be seeing more of Adrian in the future, and thus that ends our future telling streak.
Yeah.
Because my I guess so this is our fourth to last. This is my second to last pick was Lauren. And Lauren is still in the house. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Might come as a shock to some of you. Right?
That Lauren is in the house, and we talked a little bit about her in the first hour that she's a cutie pie. She's very sweet, and she doesn't really have a lot of allies, and if she does, they're not true allies for the most part, because she looks at Vince as kind of her number one, and Vince's number one is whoever, and mostly him, is himself. And so one of the funniest parts of Lauren's game so far was when she won head of household in week 3, I want to say, and half the house was like, who? And like, you live with her, and they still don't know who she is. But it's also good that she's so under the radar, which means that she had a whole head of household reign, and she got someone out of the house. And
she won something else too. She won a veto.
She did. She won veto and OTEV of all vetoes.
Yeah.
But she is majority unscathed. Majorly. Majorly. We're just gonna make up words here. It's just like the competition where they have to get letters and they put them up and they just spell, and half the time the house guests don't know.
Something it was like spiz. I think it was that. Yes, because he thought the Z was an N.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. There's a competition where, if you're not familiar, where the house guests have to gather letters in like a swamp, like the muck, and they have to gather letters and spell the longest correctly spelled word they can to win. Usually it's power of veto that the comp is for, I believe.
Yeah, it was veto because there were 6 of them. Right?
And it was Joseph, right? That thought that it was an N, but it was C. He wrote speed. This game is so funny. This is
Your
ridiculous.
word is the word I brought you is spin. Actually, Joseph, your N is actually a Z. So your word is spin.
Start crying.
That was the funniest moment of last season by far. So
that's the kind of show we're dealing with. So you can't judge me when I make up words on the show.
Very true.
But anyway, until Lauren, she had an entire head of household reign, and she somehow wasn't targeted right afterwards. She's not really on anyone's radar. It was really frustrating when she won that competition. Not that she won OTEV, but that she was kind of going against Rachel. I would say going at it with Rachel, but like she wasn't fighting back.
Yeah, she wasn't. It was just Rachel intimidating her.
Which, I mean, on Rachel's defense, Rachel said, "I would like you not to use it, but you do what you want to do. I just ask that you let me know beforehand so that I could figure out what I want to do with the renom." And then she claims like last second she had to put Riley up on the block because she didn't know what else to do. She didn't have the chance to talk to any of the house guests, figure out what a renom would be. And so Riley going home was kind of to stick it to Lauren, which I don't know if anyone really clocked. You know, Rachel made that face towards Lauren. We noticed it. I thought that was great, even though I'm rooting for Lauren. And she's still just chilling right now. She kind of is secretly close with Ava, despite that mess up where Ava was secretly in the room listening to Lauren and Ashley talk about Lauren potentially evicting Ava, which she ended up doing. I think they're kind of chilling. They have their final two. And aside from that, Lauren doesn't really have anyone to depend on. I don't know who she's chilling with. Maybe Vince when he's not wrapped up with Morgan.
She's good with Vince when she's in power, because Vince never. He just doesn't wear any pants at all. He never
just
makes,
egg.
He never makes any decisions.
Yeah,
because he's afraid.
And well, she's terrified of the word.
Yeah,
decision.
so is she. Everyone's terrified. That's just how it is this year.
Apparently. And so we move on to your pick.
My next pick was Zach.
Womp.
He was a guy. Once again, he left after Jimmy. Yes. Because yes.
Yep.
We sort of veered off track because Mole's next pick is Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were still a little gassed up because we just missed 1 week. Like Lauren didn't get evicted, but Jimmy did in the position that he is, and then so did Zach.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, that's pretty impressive.
It's still the bottom of our list who are out of the house
for now. But like Zach was cool. He was interesting. I thought the Lauren thing was weird, and I'm glad that they're separated now.
You mean the potential love triangle?
Well, yeah, because Morgan, yes, I thought that Morgan was in love with him.
Oh, I'm not forgetting.
That just seems like so 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, when we were watching Love Island by mistake.
True.
But it's Love Parking Lot, and it's Big Brother.
And it's in the middle.
And it's Morgan who keeps Zach's toothbrush. Which I don't think they didn't show that on the episode, did they? No, so yeah, like she literally picked his toothbrush out of the garbage and put it back in the medicine cabinet or whatever.
I'm so tired.
But he was head over heels for Lauren, who's just like, I don't want showmans. No, thank you.
I think you're so cool, Lauren. Yeah. I think you're pretty cool too, Zach. And basically, well, I'm not even going to bring up the actual show. I don't like saying that word in regards to those two.
I shed a single tear. Another follows.
Me too. Right there with you.
The diary room is full of tears.
Yeah. But, I mean, Zach was cool. And he probably would have played a pretty good game if he didn't get... Who sent him home? It was Ava, right? I think it was Ava.
That sounds right.
That sounds correct.
If only Zach had some way of getting himself off the block. If only there was some kind of power that America could give him, or that he could have just won himself. Not me. Oh, not me. I think about
that too.
Sometimes I think about my decisions in life, And I'm like, oh, should I do this move? Should I do this? Am I making a mistake? And then I realized, well, it can't be worse than what Zach did on Big Brother, trading 10K, so he could keep the 10K instead of 750.
Now I know it was Ava because he didn't want to
Give her,
he didn't want to give her the money. That's
which
why it was.
would he have won?
No.
No.
I say that with full confidence, unless he like went on a super Tucker, because I'm sure that. But then the only way for him to win is by winning, and if the more you win in Big Brother, the more you lose.
So maybe
that makes any sense.
Maybe it was a quit while you're ahead situation.
Yeah, I mean, I still consider Ava's HOH to be successful. We actually just talked about this and how we don't really like the direction that they were going. But I mean, he's a target. At the end of the day, he's a physical threat. Needs to get exterminated at some point, and Ava just kind of so happens to stumble upon getting rid of him, and power to her. And with that, we move on to your next pick.
Yes.
Oh, how I have so many thoughts about your next pick.
So my third to last pick was none other than Jimmy, which is funny considering that the next pick of mine was Mickey. And so Mickey's HOH frame was interesting to say the least. This was the one where she stole it, snatched it from Riley, and she snatched somebody else's head of household power, took away his letter, took away his photos of his children, and she decides to put up and eliminate Jimmy. I'm still pressed about this. I'm pressed. I don't care what you think about Jimmy, and this is the general you, whoever's listening. I liked Jimmy. I thought he was funny. I like him as a character. Was he great at the game? No. He was like pretty messy. And therefore, I was living for it. It would make sense for Jimmy to be out of the game at this point. I think he's a player that you would want out of the game. It's not like he was winning every competition, but he won a decent amount considering the ratio of time that he was in the game. It is not a mistake to get him out. I still think it was a mistake for Mickey to get him out at this time, for it to be specifically Mickey, because he, and again, we understand we see a lot more of the house guests than the house guests see of each other. I do not believe he was actually going for her. And she got rid of him.
I don't think that he definitely wasn't coming for her at the time. But she felt I mean, I don't know. He was HOH the week prior.
Yes.
He was the one. He only ended up sending Adrian home because of the fact that I guess somebody slipped away. I guess it was probably KEANU, because at this point they were beefing hard.
He sent home
Adrian.
Amy.
Amy?
It was Amy. Yeah, Lauren. Didn't Lauren send Adrian home? Because it was Jimmy was the second HOH.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So but, he was HOH.
Yeah, and it was Amy that went.
You're so right.
Oh. So our friends in the hallway are. So the diary room has been invaded, and they're talking to Just. Unless we want to air this out, I don't know what's happening right now.
Don't leave your trash.
There are others in the diary room.
Hi.
Welcome to Big Brother.
Hi. You can't leave your trash in the office. Thank you so much. I forgot my glasses, so I can't look like a librarian right now. But
all right. Thank you, production.
What?
And for that, Chris is a have-not this week. We shame him on air. That was the least slick way that our production could have delivered garbage to the stage. We proceed. And so, where are we, Jimmy?
Where were we?
Well, Jimmy got Amy out, and so Amy was on the women's side, and Mickey and Morgan were really close with Jimmy, and then they were upset because Jimmy didn't properly consult them when he put up Amy and other nominees.
Yes.
Something of that sort.
And that was just the MO for a while, you know.
The precedent was set to the goal of this game, according to this cast, is this is your ally, put them on the block for funsies, get them out of the house for funsies, and then see what happens later.
Yeah. And then we miss 3 times, and we get rid of all of the people that everyone just likes. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Sigh. And that's that's it. That's basically it. And then
Final thoughts about it.
I love Jimmy. I still love Jimmy. I love seeing him. At least the only good thing is that we see him on the outside, and I'm seeing his stories and living his best life. And I do love Jimmy. So I had a task to complete, and I did not complete this task because Jimmy went live for 2 hours on Instagram days after his eviction, and I was hooked. I needed to know everything he was sharing, and it was some production stuff. Of course, they can't share everything because they're under contract. But the craziest thing is the controversy around Riley. And it's no surprise to people who watch feeds, who have listened to our show and such, that Riley is not favored outside of the house. People do not like him. The majority of America does not like Riley because of reasons in and outside of the house. And it was really interesting when Jimmy left the house because he gave America the insight that in the house, everyone loved Riley. They thought he was a top contender for America's favorite player, and he was shook to find out that not only is he nowhere near a top contender, America despises him. And that was crazy to listen to and like watch him and just react to the fact that what they thought was true was complete opposite. And I loved that. And I love that Jimmy's here for the tea. And I can't wait to see what Jimmy wears on finale, because I know it's going to be fabulous. And hopefully it's not those shorts that he wore when he was evicted, because that outfit was a little silly.
Or the gloves that he wore when he was HOH. I never want to see those. I never want to see those again.
Dude, I thought it was...
I did not know. They did not eat. I did not like the gloves.
I was eating. I don't know. I consumed.
What are we doing here?
So, time will only tell.
True.
But we move on to your... Where are we? How do we do this? Your fourth to last pick. Your fifth pick.
Fifth pick. We can go in from 4, 5 to 4, 3, 2, 1. This is my fifth pick.
Mm-hmm.
Was Catherine.
Yes.
And newest evict.
Mm-hmm.
This was the third one at this point, because my next pick is Riley, and he was just the week prior, so I'm already feeling peachy about the fact that I'm down 1, or I'm down 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm down 3 because of Catherine.
Deep breath, Chris. It's gonna be okay.
Whatever eviction. Let me recount the events of the week prior.
Mm-hmm.
We had. Who was it?
For Riley's eviction?
No, Catherine's eviction.
That was Vince.
Vince, yes. Okay, I was right. So.
Whose HOH album I still do not know.
I thought we said, oh yeah.
I don't know if he had a different one the second time. His very first one was Post Malone. Yeah.
Yep. And so Vince, HOH, he wants to get rid of nobody at this point. He don't want to get rid of nobody.
He just wants to cry.
He just wants to cry.
And he just wants Morgan to stay up there with him. But she can't because she's a have-not. Oh, they're so far apart. What are they going to do? Continue. I'm salty about this.
Every time I have to talk about Vince, it makes me sad. Just make me sad.
I was so rooting for him.
Me too.
But whatever. But this is about Catherine. This is fine.
Catherine.
Whatever.
gets sent home in a complete upset. I mean, he could have easily put Rachel on the block. This was the prime time to get rid of her. Prime time.
I agree. I do think if he took the shot and he missed it, it would have destroyed the game.
It would have
His game would have been
destroyed
gone.
the whole game. I think we would be fragmented in areas like people who like Rachel, people who want her gone, people who don't like her.
Yeah.
Who knows what would have happened?
But don't worry, we went the safe route.
And we got rid of freaking Catherine. You're so right. Just like Lauren, I feel she also didn't really have a well for the week that she was on screen. I think she had some level of personality that I sort of enjoyed. I wasn't like I didn't not want her. I mean, obviously, she's my draft pick, so I don't want her to go home.
You have a little bit of bias, as I would
Yes.
if the opposite. But what can you say about
Exactly.
Catherine's game?
Exactly.
It was completely tied
Right.
to someone else.
But we did get to see her for 1 week.
Did we? But did we?
Like, not really. You're actually right. Did she play in Veto, even though she wasn't? I think I remember. What Veto was it?
Again, this is the fun part about our
this
game.
Is recounting the events of the weeks of Big Brother, but that doesn't mean I can remember every single thing that happened in the gosh darn show.
I don't remember her playing
Yeah, I don't think
in that
she did.
veto.
So we kind of really didn't get to see much of her. I guess they put her in the diary room a little more because she was a topic of conversation. Okay. But other than that, yeah, she didn't really exist. You're kind of right. That's
Her entire game was attached to somebody else who left the week before. So of course there's a little bit more of her the week after he's gone.
Yeah.
But there was so little. And it was just her being snarky. And good for her, I guess. Not good. She's out. She's gone.
She's gone. Bye-bye.
And it was still her fault by latching herself onto him. Regardless of the public opinion on him or her or whatever, it was still a showmance where they were obviously tied to one another, and that was her downfall.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess she really did like him at the end of the day, because I mean that was definitely a debated topic on the show until they kind of just like flat out they never explicitly stated it for a while because it was very wishy-washy. But I guess she just fully committed to it at some point. Okay. It's just like a showmance now, you know?
I'm tired.
Me too.
But that's not the end. That's not the end of the showmance. But before we get into that, yes, we're going to talk about Mickey, who is on my team. I don't know for how much longer, because because she is a very interesting character, because she does believe she runs the house while also really not running the house. But I mean, the good thing about her for herself is, for the most part, when she has to win something, she wins it. The veto win from the week prior, that was really important. That was really good for her. And I think that we could be talking about Mickey being out of the house if she didn't win that veto. So good for her.
Yeah.
Getting rid of Jimmy still doesn't make much sense to me. But maybe in the long run, he would have been a threat to her. I just think there were bigger fish to fry at that time. He was not the fish to be fried. And whatever, I mean, she's still hanging on in this game. However, she is currently sitting on the block. She's not the intended target, but if the intended target is no longer the target, she's, I guess, next in line. I feel like Vince and her, like, maybe they're neck and neck, because all three people on the block, in Mickey and Morgan and Vince, have to go if anyone else wants to win, because they're just playing pretty good games. I don't think that Mickey is sticking around too much longer if she is on the block eviction night.
For sure.
And as far as seeing her, it's kind of entertaining. Again, also just like even her diary room session saying that she's a nice person when she's just been mean. She's just been mean. And I mean, do I love the mean girl energy? No. But I do like that there's more energy than just, oh, let's just be friends with everybody because, yeah, that's how Big Brother is now. So at least there's a little bit of that kind of matching more old school vibes. Even though she is coming off more mean than Rachel, but also maybe we're just used to Rachel. But that's kind of my thoughts on Mickey. I'm glad that she's still in the game. I don't know how much longer, but if she can make it out alive this week, I'd be really impressed. And kind of rooting for her to go. But if she survives, it'd be like, that's really, really cool and good for her. And if she continues to do that, then why does she not deserve a top spot? You know, so those are kind of my thoughts on Mickey. Now I said that we're not done talking about the showmance.
Now, let's get to the other. Because
the other half also under your draft.
After doing a thing and just kind of taking in all of Riley's accomplishments, I have just realized that there are none.
Really? You don't say.
He did nothing. He did nothing. He won HOH, so he was about to do something, and then he got taken away from him.
And then it was foiled.
And then he got...
Bro was close to an accomplishment, and then it didn't quite happen.
So, if you think about it, even though he's one of the most recently evicted house guests on the draft, he still didn't do anything. Catherine won a competition. He won a veto.
Well, he technically won a competition.
Oh, he did win the
He technically he won that, and he did win the head of household comp. He didn't get to keep it, but he did win the comp.
Yeah.
The only thing that he did was latch himself onto a poor woman who just accepted it. And that is really what they did. And I don't remember much about season 15. And unfortunately, all I remember was Amanda and McCrae and how they basically morphed into the bed and they just sat there. And they I think they avoided ceremonies or something weird like that. And they just kind of existed on their own plane before they were evicted. That's the direction they were going in. What did he do? And yet somehow he was loved by the house. But yet he was evicted by the house too.
He was in a position where, who was he up against? It was Ava, right?
One moment, please.
Either that or maybe.
He was against Morgan.
Oh, so
he was against Morgan.
He lost.
Mickey won the blockbuster.
So, yes, Mickey wins the blockbuster. I do remember that because she was going to go home.
Yeah.
And then it was between him and Morgan.
And they were so upset. It was Ava's vote. Ava lost her marbles. We do have this just in reminder that the only other accomplishment of his was F-bombing as much as humanly possible. You probably would win the record for most amount of cursing on the show.
Perhaps.
For chat.
But here is why Riley did nothing. And the fact that he got voted out so convincingly is just another reason why. Because everyone liked him, but he wasn't, everyone just liked him. That's all. That was all. That's why. There's no game relationship between him and anyone else except for him and Catherine. Because I guess he spent all of his time with her and he just didn't talk any game with anyone. but like people saw him around like when they would hang out all together, like, oh yeah, like I like Riley, he's cool, but he's not an actual player. And that did just dawn on the fact that he did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It felt like he did a lot more than he actually did for most of the part because of the fact that he was so close to Catherine, and it was just fun to make fun of that, I guess.
They showed him a lot because they're like the showmans, because none of the other showmances worked, or the one that is working but shouldn't be working right now. But you're right, like what Riley just kind of be there, and that's all we could really say for his game. But we'll go right into my next pick, which was Ava. They're still chilling in the game. I still love Ava. I think she's doing really well. I think she is good at winning when she needs to. Also, not too much, but just because
she has something. She has like some sort of resume.
Yeah.
And getting out Zach was that's a sizable chunk of player.
Yeah. And I think whether they like it or not, the house guests recognize that. I think she doesn't necessarily have to win a lot because she's in such a great place. I mean, last week she only had one vote against her, and even that one vote wasn't against her as much as it was to keep the other person, and it was just Lauren on an island. You know, at that point, I don't know if it was technically a sympathy vote, but it may as well have been. And so Ava is just really well insulated. And the downside is she sleeps a lot. And the good side is that she is so undercover that people will talk about her thinking she's not in the room because she's oh so quiet and oh so hidden in that bunk bed. And Ava, I'm glad that she's made it this far. I'm glad that she is, we're heading into the jury phase and she's a prominent player and she's still chilling. Glad to see that she's still in the house. And she's also funny. I know some people are a bit over her fun like facial expressions. I don't care. I think she's hilarious.
That's
Keep going.
Qualities about her. I mean, I don't. The only time I was ever like, okay, like what are we doing here with her was when she like blew up on KEANU that one time at the veto.
That was unnecessary. It felt like she needed a TV moment.
Yeah.
And like, okay, whatever.
Reaching pretty hard here, but I mean, other than that, her gameplay has been not boring, I guess.
Yeah.
I enjoy a lot.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Then we go to your next pick.
What an interesting question we have here. My next pick was Kelly.
Yeah.
Now, let's go down. Let's take inventory real quick. Kelly is one of the leading house guests in competition. She is one of the most blockbusters. She's one of the most blockbusters
Between both last season and this season.
But really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that it was also considering. Well, that just goes to strengthen my point about how much of how invaluable of a pick Kelly has been holding. She's holding me down. She's holding it down.
Yeah. Well.
Anyways, so, but yeah, I mean,
she's there.
She's there.
Winning. Yeah.
She's winning. She is doing a lot for my draft picks. Now, in terms of the outside contributions other than competition wins, which I guess are the most important things. I mean, you're still in the house, you're staying there. Your social game is also something that's pretty neglected. Just saying, I think that she don't know why he just needs to lock in. She needs to stop making people annoyed. I don't know what people don't like about her. I don't watch the feeds enough.
She just seems like a really bad roommate and an insufferable person to live with. Also interesting to mention that she literally just found out this week what live feeds mean.
That's what you were talking about?
That's what I was talking about.
Right.
I've heard that she quite literally just found out that it is 24/7. I know.
Is that not in the application?
Is that not in a contract that you sign? I feel like there's a good chunk of these house guests that didn't understand that, and so she has been a really weird person to live with. Even something as small as like lying about like roommate things, about who poured liquid on the floor of the bathroom, and hiding underneath the little crate beds and stuff like that. And I think I've heard that at least I haven't been keeping up with the feed so much this week, but I heard that she changed her demeanor a little bit since she found that out, she's just a very interesting character.
I mean, I don't know. How can you not know that the live feed mean live feed? Not my problem.
This is still the same house that like I think Riley thought that America voted at the end. Which is funny because he really wouldn't have won. But for the sake of time, we'll jump right into my third pick was the Gamer Girl. I chose Morgan. I still like Morgan. I'm still rooting for her. I like her. I feel like with the her and Vince situation, I like Vince.
Yeah,
but I'll get into him in a
I
minute.
agree with that, actually.
Yeah, because he is the one with the girlfriend. So if I'm in anyone's team, it's Vince's girlfriend.
Yeah,
and then,
well, I'm
and then
team
it's
Vince's girlfriend, but yes, you're right.
Reminding myself of what has been on TV, and I like Morgan. I'm rooting for her. I want her to get her out of the situation she's in now, and hopefully get some more power, maybe win some things, and then she'll be fine because she's been working overtime. She has been actually playing the game, even though she hasn't been in power, and therefore she's done more than some other people overall in the cast, and then some people still in the house, like who was Lauren. Those are my thoughts on Morgan. If we want to just go right into your second pick.
We go spitball, and because we only do have 7 minutes left, but we can still get through all of our picks by then.
Yeah.
Our next pick is okay. Now, I always think about this whenever I look at the draft table because we have Will's name down as Clifton, and yes, that is his name, but is that really his name?
Nah. His legal name is Clifton Will.
Yes, I'm going to cross out.
Modify it. Truthfully, I am looking at our.
Will.
I'm truthfully looking at our graphic that has no names attached to it, so I completely forgot that at the preseason he was still Clifton, but now he's one Captain Will, and he's still chilling.
I love this man.
Yep.
He is endless fun. He's just so funny. Everything he does, his existence is just pure and cool and chill. And he's here for a good time as well. He won a trip to London with his wife. He's gonna be living his best life. And I mean, I don't know. How has Angela been doing after Big Brother? I feel like his path after might be quite similar.
Might be Angela path.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll see Angela very soon. And we'll find out more.
Wait. Is there something you're not telling?
I think we'll find out more tonight.
I'm very excited.
But we'll scooch on over.
Anyways, yes. End thoughts. Will, love you, man.
Shout out, Will.
What you're doing.
Keep up the one-liners.
Yes.
Love those. I could go on and on about my second pick, but I'm going to keep it brief because we've talked about Vince this whole time. Vince, buddy, what are you doing?
Offer him one word of advice.
Stop crying, please. Please.
I said one word.
Cryant.
Cryant.
That's my word.
There we go.
Let's go into your first pick.
Glorious goat. Probably will go down as one of my favorite players to ever play the game. Maybe not topping Vanessa, but definitely up there. Chelsea also from last season, for those unacquainted, definitely also made herself up there. But the way that KEANU has been playing this game has just been so interesting, and it's very refreshing to see someone who can win competitions and have control of the game, do a lot of stuff, do it well, also make Rachel angry, fight with Rachel, and be entertaining. So A plus number one pick. Now, I want to hear your side of what you think your number one pick has contributed
So
to your draft.
my number one pick was Ashley, and she's an enigma. I am very interested to see how she plays these last few weeks of the game. I hope that she sticks around because I feel like there's a lot more to her than we know that she has given us. But if we know anything, again, she wins when she has to. At the very beginning, she was number one target because of a shower, and she won the veto. She got herself off the block. And now she's kind of been chilling. However, her name is always in the conversation when they need another person to go on the block. So crossing my fingers for her, an interesting character that I don't have too much to say about, but hopefully I'll have some more in the coming weeks. We're nearing the end of the show, like just seconds away from the end of our show. You've been tuning in for the last hour and a half, or all summer long. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. Quick shout out to all the people who have participated in our audience draft. Update the top 3 places. We have Tosh and Cass and Big Brother's Dad as our top 3 in our audience draft. For more updates on that and for more from us during the week, we do have an Instagram. It is at thediaryroom.wmsc. That's where, if you're in the mood, you can catch some fun graphics, some spoilers. If you're interested, don't worry, I hide them under different graphics until the live episodes air. We do have another episode of Big Brother tonight, Wednesday night, where we're going to find out who wins the veto comp, if there's any special guests, and what the results of the veto are. Excited to find out who is going home and if there's a double eviction this week. Nothing confirmed, but in my mind, I'm thinking there's a double.
It's time.
At least a double.
It's time.
If there's a triple, I don't think this could take it. Oh my goodness. But
she's not getting it.
You never know.
That would be glorious, though.
But what I do know is you've been listening to The Diary Room on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Thank you so much for tuning into our new time. Catch us same time next week at noon on Wednesday. Until then, have a lovely, lovely day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.